here, back on another episode of Double RT Boxing. Thank you for your time and support. And another champion to the lovely mix of the heavyweights. Manuel Charr has defeated Alexander Ustinov for the WBA regular heavyweight championship of the world. Now, this was a pick your moment, find the action type fight. Very slow paced. I had it for Charr 114, 113. He needed the last round. I had it a draw going into the last round. It was a very for just to go over it for I had Charr winning rounds 2, 4, 7, 8, and 11. Those are the rounds I had for Charr. And Ustinov, he obviously I had him 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10. So I had Charr winning the last round. Ustinov could have won this round. I mean, could have won this fight if he just maybe put 15 seconds action in each round, a little more. Because Charr didn't really show any dominance until like the 7th round. He dropped Ustinov in the 8th, but in the 7th round, he really start right, left to the body, or right to the body, and left over and left to the top. Where in the whole fight, he was trying to jab with his left and land the overhand right, and it turned out to be actually the opposite that was going to work for him. The overhand left is, and the left hook is where he was getting all his points from. Like the first round, it was probably the easiest and most dominating round you can judge. That easily went to Ustinov. Charr was just moving, circling the ropes. Ustinov had that little style of his hand down low. you know, so he was doing that. Charr came on a little strong in the 2nd round. Doubled up on some hooks. 3rd round went right back to Ustinov. Saying Ustinov did nothing different each and every round. It was just part, just clubbing hands, a little hammers, get inside, a little holding hammers. And it was the whole 12 rounds. It was that for Ustinov. It just on some rounds Charr wasn't busy enough, and by default Ustinov won those rounds. A lot of times, it seemed like I said, up until like round 7, when Ustinov was getting a little windy and the left hooks were able to land for Charr. Up until then, it seemed like Charr was just trying to coast through the first minute and a half of each round and then try and turn it on and try and steal some rounds with like last 30 seconds of work. Now in round 8, Charr caught Ustinov with a ninth. I think it was a left, wobbled him, and then another one as he caught him back, and he wobbled Ustinov, and then Ustinov was coming in, and a quick left check hook just dropped him. He cut Ustinov it was a good left hook because it cut him instantly. A nice deep gash on the cheekbone right there. Nice. So that was the only back-to-back rounds I had for Charr, and it was important because it was coming off of back-to-back rounds for Ustinov. For me, I had Ustinov winning 5 and 6. So I had Ustinov up until that point. I had Ustinov winning 1, 3, 5, and 6. I had him 5 rounds to 2. And then all of a sudden then Charr came back 1-7, knocked him down at 8, and that extra point just tied it up for him. And that was a big. Usually they say, "Oh, a knockdown wins the fight." A knockdown definitely was tied that fight for him. And then luckily Ustinov, even in the last round, Ustinov was kind of winning it up until like 120. Charr just let go like a nice little like 10-second flurries, and that kind of won the fight for him. So I said it was a a back and forth, because back and forth action of little action. It was a weird fight to watch, but there's a new champion. Tennessee. It would have been nice, like I said. Obviously, Manuel Charr ain't gonna beat down the doors of a Wilder, a Parker, um, Joshua. But obviously now Charr has to fight a Quindo, and then those two winners are gonna have to go beat down the door of Joshua. But it would have still been nice for Charr or Quindo, who only if I knew a little more of the WBA rankings off the top of my head, but um, somewhere in the mid tier levels. Like I said, 9 through 6, 10 through 6. Those fighters you got the. I don't know if they're in the WBA, but just the lower names. Like you got a Chishoras, you got a Brian Jennings, you got a Andy Ruiz. Heck, you can even throw if Charr wanted to. Charr could even fight a David Price. You know what I mean? You could throw a Daniel Dubois, a Junior Foy. You could throw, what else is a nice little a lower name. I can't think of names, but that's a pretty good list of names right at the back. But it would have been real good to see Mansour or Kuzman get a victory in their fights. That would be two new little heavyweight names with belts attached to them. So we'll see where this goes. But obviously we know Charr has to, because the WBA has mandated that this winner fights Fred Quindo. So we're going to see where that fight takes place. So like I said, this was a fight of pick your moment actions, but like I said, it was a real, really pick your points. But like I said, I had it 114, 113 for Charr. So again, congratulations to a back and forth, slow action fight, very competitive fight between two C+ fighters, giving it just about all they had. As a boxing fan, it was a weird one to watch, a tough one to watch a little bit, a little entertaining, a little comical to watch, because at any given moment, someone could slip up and lose this fight, because they needed all the skills, not all the skills, but they were really pressing for this victory. It was a career defining moment for both of these guys, and they really wanted it, even though their skill level wasn't what we're accustomed to see at a heavyweight title bout. They left it in the ring, so that was good to see. It was two C+ fighters leaving it all they had. So it wasn't what like I said, it wasn't what we're accustomed to seeing. But again, Manuel Charr, he is now in the mix. He's the new WBA regular heavyweight champion. Let's see what happens. Him and Fred Quindo coming up. This is Mr.A saying thank you for your love, support, and your time. Let the show grow, baby. Double RT Boxing. I am your host, Mr.A, saying thank you for tuning in. Thumbs up to you guys.